All right, you beautiful ninjas. Welcome back for another exciting video. I hope you're freaking pumped up because I am. We're about to do some product research inside of product discovery, inside of search, and we're going to talk about exactly why we're making these choices, kind of some introductions, and then we're going to get a little bit deeper into the advanced filters for you guys. So first thing that we have to do is set up the categories. So a lot of people who teach this wrong will just tell you, oh yeah, go into all the categories. No. So there's things that we don't want to sell on Amazon, right? Books is a great example. CDs and vinyls is a great example. There's like a freaking fly in front of me. CDs and vinyls is a good example. Things that we don't want to sell. I've never personally sold electronics, and I've always been grateful I didn't. That's not to say that electronics are not profitable. I have many students who have sold electronics. I just personally don't want to deal with the additional electronics have a much higher return rate, for example, and so and it's much more difficult to import them into the USA from China, for example. There's a lot more regulations, and so all of these categories that I'm gonna choose for you guys right now, it comes from years of experience and having reviewed literally thousands and thousands of products, for my students, for myself, for my own businesses, doing consulting for other companies, right? So this is kind of the summation of, millions of dollars worth of products sold on Amazon, multiple, probably $100 million of products sold on Amazon between all of my consulting clients and all of my students, and of course myself. So baby, we're gonna look at clothing, shoes, and jewelry can be good, but I'm gonna ignore it for this time. Grocery and gourmet food can be cool. Health and households, great. Industrial and scientific. Kitchen and dining is probably the category that I've made the most money in. Office products I've made a ton of money in as well. Pet supplies, sports and outdoors. Toys and games can be cool. Tools and home improvement. Patio, lawn. Musical instruments can be cool. Home and kitchen. And beauty and personal care. And automotive. Okay, so these are the ones that we're going to choose. There's a couple of them that I haven't personally made a ton of money in, like musical instruments, but it could be cool, and so I like to include it. I don't think we'll see a ton of products after we do all of our filtering, but it doesn't really matter. So we're on the product search tab, guys. So once we put in all of our filters, what it's going to spit out is a bunch of products, right? This is the first one we're going to talk about. This is going to be kind of a longer video, but it's one of the most important videos in the module, so pay attention. Just quit sliding into DMs and doing all that hood rat stuff like me. There's like a freaking gnat right here. All right, back to the actual topic. So product discovery. What we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna put in monthly revenue. And the tortoise and the hare mentality is something that I've learned kind of the hard way personally, and that I've proven again and again and again, with thousands of my students from all around the world, as the way that's kind of the best path to long-term success. When I first started Amazon FBA, I was like, I want to find the friggin' product that's selling $1 million a month and just go completely ham, right? But the problem with that is if you're looking at the products that do $100,000 a month or $1 million a month or something like that, right? Then there's multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar companies who are also looking at those, right? With huge staffs, with graphic design teams and legal teams, and there's huge Chinese sellers, and there's people that want to hijack you, right? There's a lot of competition. And generally, it's not worth it to enter into products that have $100,000 a month. So I'm not going to come in here and type in 100 grand, right? What I've found is $7,000 to like $14,000 a month per product is kind of the sweet spot, right? And maybe you're saying to yourself, okay, $7,000 a month revenue doesn't sound like that much, right? But when you add a second product, all of a sudden it's 15 or 14 or whatever it is, right? And when you have 10 products, all of a sudden, the minimum would be 70 grand a month. And then now it starts to sound much more appetizing, because I don't know about you, but 70 grand a month sounds like a great, thing to me. And that's very, very possible to be able to launch, 10 products for $7,000 revenue, or even 14,000, and then we're looking at $140,000 a month. So it scales very quickly when you add, multiple products to your portfolio. They're all independently profitable. And if we look in the $7,000 to $14,000 range, I found that it's a sweet spot because it's worth the effort to do, but you're not making so much money that it's attracting all of the unwanted eyes, like hijackers, Chinese sellers that want to submit false IP claims, or multi-million or billion-dollar companies that are going to come in and compete with you and get like review farms in friggin' Bangladesh to come in and give them 1,000 reviews, right? There's a lot of scummy things that happen on Amazon, just like there's a lot of scummy things that happen in every business anywhere in the world, right? And so what we're going to try to do is what I'm going to try to do is shield you guys from as much of that nastiness and like the bad parts of Amazon as I can. And one of the best ways to do that is by kind of focusing on products that aren't going to attract the attention of all those, underground kind of scummy people. So we're going to look at 7,000 and above. What I've found with Amazon FBA is because of Amazon's fee structure, right? They charge a referral fee, which is 15%, and then they charge an FBA, a fulfillment fee, right, to pick and pack and actually ship your product out. Because of Amazon's fee structure and because of the inherent nature of having to buy the products from China and paying for them to be shipped from China to America, right? What I've found is it's very, very difficult to make money, to make a meaningful amount of money on Amazon if you sell a product that's less than $13, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at products that are $13 or higher. And the reason for that is just trust me when I tell you that because of the fee structure and because of XYZ and a lot of experience, right? Anything lower than $13 is very, very difficult to make money on. And if you're selling something for $13, right, you better be paying no more than like $1 per unit. From your manufacturer, and maybe another like 50 cents shipping. So like your landed cost would be $1.50, and at that $13 price point, you can still make a significant amount of money. We have a brand, and most of our products sell for $14.99, and our landed cost, our shipping plus our cost of goods sold per unit is 96 cents. Right? And then after like all the fees and stuff like that from Amazon, a $15 product, right? We take home like $7.50, which is like $6.50 profit. Right, so that's just like an example of one of the products that we sell and kind of an explanation of why under 13 just doesn't really work very well. And we'll show you a tool called the FBA fee calculator, which is like a tool that Amazon puts out that allows you to see what the exact fees that you would pay for any product would be. So you can look at one of your competitors. If you're looking into getting into a niche, you can look at one of the pre-existing products, right? And you can say, okay, you can plug in their product and see what fees they pay. So you can start to estimate what your profit margin is. And we'll talk about that soon. I just want to kind of get the cogs turning in your brain, how this all works, because it all is connected, right? And it's all a beautiful process if you understand it. The most important thing about entering a new niche, right? And when I say niche, I mean like a garlic press would be like a niche. A garlic press is the example that I've always used, and I'm using it again because it's just like almost like a friggin' legend at this point. But garlic press is an example of something that's obviously completely oversaturated, right? Now, but when it first started, people were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month selling these garlic presses to restaurants and to everyone and their mother who's buying a freaking garlic press on Amazon. And it's a good example because it's small, it's non-breakable, it's cheap to make, right? It's niche enough that you're not going to go to Walmart to buy a freaking garlic press, but instead you'd go on Amazon. I mean, I buy everything off Amazon, so that's not a great example anymore. But generally what you're looking for, as a generalization, because people always ask me this, and it's an impossible question to answer, but you're looking for something that's relatively small and light, relatively non-breakable, and that's something that you can that you can buy for very inexpensive and sell for much more, something with perceived value, right? Because I don't know how much it freaking costs to buy a garlic press, but they're selling 5,000 units a month, selling them for $9.95, so I guarantee you that they're paying less than $1 landed for those products. And so the most important thing about all of this is review count, right? When you're looking to join a new niche, when you're looking for products, to sell on Amazon, the most important thing, the biggest competitive barrier to entry is review count. It's very difficult to get reviews. Amazon gets more and more strict and stringent and chaotic and crazy at times about reviews every single day. They're shutting down the review farms. They're trying to level the playing field, and so it's a good thing for us, right? The individual sellers, they're leveling the playing field for these screwed up corporations that are trying to cheat the system. But that being said, it's very difficult to get real reviews, and so we want to find things that have, less than, I would say, like 59 reviews. And the reason that I'm using like these off numbers, and we'll use one here too. The reason that I'm using these off numbers is because the human brain, right, gravitates towards multiples of 5 and 10. So if I type 7,000 here, or if everyone types 7,000 here or 10,000, right, and I type 6,900, I might see a couple more products that they're missing that are selling 69.50 a month, right? And the same thing, right? If they type 50 here and I type 59, I might see some golden products that have between 50 and 59 reviews that other people are missing. And if I type 13 here or even like 1290, right, then everyone else is typing 10 or 15. And that's just how the human brain works. And so you want to try to like be one step ahead of people. And the same thing, right? You can't use the exact same searches as I'm using. You have to switch it up, right? Try 5,900, try 7,500, try 14 or 17 or 29 or whatever the case may be, right? Product research takes time, and whoever goes the deepest down the rabbit hole, right, the deepest down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole of product research is going to win. It's simple, right? It doesn't take 5 minutes. This is a business like anything else, and you have to actually put the work in, and you actually have to grind through the product research portion to find a super diamond in the rough product. But by the end of this module, you'll have all the tools you need to feel extremely comfortable from a due diligence perspective that the product that you're investing in is going to be a winner, right? We're going to give you all of the tools to evaluate the landscape, to look at Google Keyword Planner, to look at Camel, to look at all of these different tools, to look at historical BSR, to look at iTrack 999, right? Things that we've learned before and things that I'll teach you in the next few hours or minutes, depending on where you're at. So you'll have all of the tools you need. So this is what I like to do for the main section. And again, we're in products here. We're going to talk about keywords, brands, and category. We're going to talk about brand and category quickly, but keywords is extremely important, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So what we're going to do is we are going to come to advanced filters, and I'm going to talk about a few of these. Initial investment cost, initial net profit, average profit margin, total net profit, right? No company can do this accurately. Again, because they don't know what the cost of goods sold, they don't know how much people are paying for products, they don't know how much shipping costs. So these are a cute like little thing that companies are putting in, but it's not something that you want to rely on. Something that you can rely on though is sales year over year, right? And what this does is it calculates comparing sales over the last 30 days compared to sales a year ago and 30 days ago, a year and 30 days ago. So basically year over year sales. You can do sales change percentage, review change, best sales period. This is a great one. I like to do this, right? You can look at the best selling product by month throughout the entire year and start to get notes. Because everybody and their mother says that you shouldn't sell seasonal products because I said it 2 years ago, and now a bunch of my students have created Amazon FBA courses also, and I'm proud of all of them. But again, guys, when everyone says don't do something, sometimes it's better to do exactly that thing. When I first started, there was really only one person teaching Amazon, and it was Greg Mercer. And he said, don't sell things that are breakable. And then everyone started to say, don't sell things that are breakable. And so I created a company that sold breakable things. Of course, I had to think more about, keeping those products safe and, packaging correctly. But, because I did something against the grain, I made a ton of money doing it. So we're going to talk about how to go against the grain in a few little episodes here. So best sales period is a great one. Sales pattern is an incredible option, right? So let's actually run this search without actually using any of the advanced filters, and then let's use the advanced filters and see what happens, right? So we see OXO chip bag clip set. And I like that Viral Launch does this because it shows you that a lot of people are looking at something. So if a lot of people are actually pinning this, for example, then Viral Launch warns you that, because what happens if 100,000 people are doing product research and everyone's pinning the same product, then you don't want to sell it, right? Obviously. And so I like to stay away from these popular results because it's telling you that a lot of people are watching it. And if a lot of people are watching it, then maybe some of those people are also sourcing it, and you don't want to get involved in a product that is, making too much, or that's attracting too much attention. So this is a good one, right? Zycac outdoor camo ghillie suit. And I remember one of my friends in high school used to have one of these actually. And this is super random, right? They're making $7,000 a month, which is, at the very kind of lower border of what we want to kind of look at. And so we see a bunch of stuff here. Stainless steel solar garden lights in a plastic bag, which is great. right? Advanced Primate Entertainment Rolling Freight. I literally have no idea what that is. So now let's take a quick look at changing some of these filters, right? So we can do a sales change year over year. Let's see, let's do a minimum of a 10% growth. All right, so now we are only seeing products that have 10% growth. Let's do a minimum of 50% growth. This is obviously going to cut the products down a lot. Multi-fold paper hand towels, right? So like a wholesale product. New York Giants, we'd want to stay, or Jets, sorry, we'd want to stay away from because it's copywritten. We don't want to deal with that. Athletic specialties, field marking paint cans, right? That's great. That's so random. I love products that are just so freaking random. Like, you know, how many of us have been to a football game and we've seen, you know, like the field that's painted with that white paint, and like it has to come from somewhere, right? And people are lazy and they want to buy it off Amazon. 2-blade mulching set. You know, I have a friend who sells tools and makes multiple 7 figures a year. And so the point is, guys, you know, we have to look through a lot of products. That's just kind of how it is. There's no shortcut. And so best sales period I like to use, up and coming, right? Seasonal. I don't know why you'd want to look at declining unless you're trying to like buy a business, for example. But we're going to put in up and coming, and we're going to show the products and see how this changes things for us. So we still see the ghillie suit. We see pointed tip kid scissors 12 packs, right? So this might be cool. This is definitely one that I would check out. $10,000 a month, right? Obviously, this would be huge for like school teachers and classrooms and stuff like that. This might be a good one, right? If you're trying to like get your Breaking Bad on and get real with the clean guard suit, they're selling, you know, don't get your Breaking Bad on. Sell on Amazon instead. $12,000 a month, right? And we see that they have 0 reviews, only 3 sellers, which could be also very cool. So let's open this one up too. Ab Canopy, which is a terrible name with 2 C's. Outdoor party tent, commercial gazebo with enclosure walls, right? This is great. Sellers 1, reviews 444. $72,000 a month is probably too much for me. I just don't want to compete with all of the other people that are also looking at that. Golf cart fender flares, like that is just ridiculously random. I love it. Let's take a look. Warning, popular result, rectangular ottoman. Ag fabric, landscape fabric, weed barrier, ground cover, garden mats. That's great. I love it. Love it. I'm in love with it. I actually just bought some of this. That's crazy. $8,000 a month revenue, 7 reviews. Custom size black solid plain rug. Sanitizing granular. Yo, I literally just bought this too. This is crazy. But yeah, this might be an interesting one, right? I just bought this and I just bought the thing up above too. Solar swimming pool heater complete system with roof kits, right? And this is selling for $1,200. So this might be a good one once you kind of have established your Amazon business, once you have a little bit more capital to play with, right? Because people that are just getting into Amazon FBA are never going to invest in a product that's this expensive, right? The most expensive product that I personally sell is like $350. That's not because I wouldn't sell more expensive ones. That's just what I've gotten into so far. So there we go, guys. That is how you use product discovery, right? This is how you use the categories. These are the ones I recommend. This is generally how I play around with things, but test it out, right? Put 8, put 8,900, put 7,750, put 11,375, right? And play around with this too. Put 29 reviews as the max. Put 1 as the minimum, so you don't want like a brand new product that has 0, right? Put this at 27, or put it at 33.75, right? Play around with this stuff. Because the more people who play, the more you play, the more you win, right? Don't be the 99% of people that only go through this once and get overwhelmed, right? Be the 1% who goes through this an hour a day for a week, You find 25 awesome products, right? You put them all into an Excel spreadsheet. You eye track all of them, right? After you've done your initial research, and then you cut that list down to like 5 of the super winners, right? Over a week, and then you invest in all 5 of those products. And then once you get in stock with all 5 of those, you've done your proper due diligence, right? You've looked at all of the things that I'm about to teach you in this module, and everything looks good. That's how you become a super winner quickly with Amazon FBA. So let's take a quick look at these Fiskars J-pointed tip kids scissors. Let's take the main keyword here, which is obviously kids scissors. Maybe pointed tip kids scissors. Let's try that. And let's type it in. So we see there's a number of different things here. Let's take a look at the overall niche, right? Because a step that a lot of people miss is they'll just look at one interesting product, but they won't look at the whole landscape, right? We haven't seen this landscape. We don't know what the reviews are like. We see that this product actually is pretty good though, to be honest. We see that the review quantities are quite low for the main page one, right? We see that there's a lot of people, right? 10 grand a month making with 29 reviews, you know, four grand a month with 23 reviews, 7 grand a month with 46, right? $37,000 with only 115 reviews, multiple different 10,000 or 10,000-ish dollar sellers with around 100 or less reviews, which is very, very good. Right, and so this is definitely a product that we would take a closer look at. We'd look at Google Trends. We'd look at Camel. We'd look at the BSR. We'd look at our keyword tool. That we're going to go through all of this in future lessons in this module. But it's just important to start thinking. Okay, I want to get as much info from as many different sources as I can, so I have the full picture. Right. I'm not just looking at one product. I'm not just trusting Viral Launch. Viral Launch is the best piece of software for product research, but you should never just trust one piece of software. We're investing our money into this. This is our livelihood, right? We have to look at all the data available and then make a decision from that data, right? Not get emotional, just be data driven, and that's how you win. Huge, right? So I would definitely take a closer look at pointed tip kids scissors. So let's take a look at this one. This main keyword is probably chemical spray protection apparel, I would guess. Let's look at all departments. So here we go. Let's take a quick gander. So what we see here is that there's 2 main products. They're both Kimberly-Clark, right? And Kimberly-Clark is obviously a large brand. And most of these people have literally 0 sales. DuPont is another large brand. 3M is also another large brand. This is one that we would cut immediately, right? Let's put golf cart fenders. Oops. Golf cart fenders. I cannot believe this is a thing. I'm just blown away how many products are on Amazon. It's just unbelievable. So we see monthly revenue a little bit lower than what we'd like, right? Most of these people have like 1,000 to 3,000. It's just not enough to kind of justify like the work involved in actually like putting this together. So I would close it out. Ag fabric landscape weed barrier ground cover. Let's do weed barrier ground cover. Let's take a look. Oh man, yeah. See, this is ridiculous, right? This is what we want to see. Bunch of random people here. Like I don't see like friggin' Nike in here, and we see the review quantities are all very, very low, right? And we see that the monthly revenues are all in a very nice range, right? Between 10,000, 11,000, 8,000 with 17 reviews, right? 18,000, 7,000, 6, 10, 14, right? Lots of very low reviews with very high monthly revenues, and with a product that you can differentiate and add value to. Like look at how bad this picture is. I can't believe it. Like that you can see the pixels in the word heavy duty, and that's put a smiling baby playing with the weedless garden with his mom who's beautiful, like smiling, and like put like a big at least something. Like give me a break. Like this is the worst picture I've ever seen in my life. Seriously, no, it's number one. And $78. Big disparity in prices here. Only 2 left, so they're stocking out, right? Eco-friendly. This guy this guy's trying at least, but you know, this also looks like crap. But you know, this is a perfect example of a product that we'd want to look very, very closely at and move quickly on. You know, 291 results is nothing. Anything under 500 results on Amazon is nothing, right? Because with this course and with the knowledge and the tools, I mean the huge discounts on all of the software and launch, you know, methodologies, you're gonna have such a massive advantage over anyone else, right? Over anyone who's not in this course, you're gonna have a massive advantage over them. And I know it might not seem like that, but I've seen hundreds of thousands of people. I've interacted with hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube in my Amazon group that has, you know, close to 100,000 members in it. And I've seen the differential in knowledge of people who've taken my course and people who haven't, and the differential of their success is incredible compared to people who haven't. So you have a massive, massive advantage. And when you see a right product like this, you know, or you should know and have the confidence that you're going to do the due diligence correctly, and then you need to move quickly and invest in products that you see that are ripe like this, so you can make it to market first and start to build that review competitive barrier to entry to additional competition. So these are definitely two that we would take a very close look at. So that, guys, is product, right? We'll go through these ones really quick. I'm just going to show an example because I don't use brand and category that much, but we're just going to go all. We're going to do brand, we're going to do success level, top 1%, and we're going to show the brands. So we can see Jellycomb for electronics, JJ Cole. And what you can do is you can do the full analysis where Viral Launch shows you all of this stuff, year-over-year sales, average price change, average sales price, fulfillment, how they fulfill, whether it's fulfilled by merchant, shipping from their house or their own factories or manufacturer or fulfillment centers, excuse me, or if Amazon's doing it. We can see all types of stuff here, and that's pretty much how brand search works. I don't use it very well. I don't use it very much because it's not a mature part of this software yet. I mean, it's an incredibly complex piece of, you know, to evaluate entire brands across Amazon is incredibly complicated. But just because I haven't used it successfully or found a lot of success with it doesn't mean you can't. And there's actually a very, very like slick little trick that we're going to talk about later on when we talk about a trick that I like to use to look at people's storefronts. We'll talk more about brand. Category, we're actually not going to touch on because I've never had much success with it. But again, play around with it if you want. It's just not something that I personally use. And then keyword. So keyword is incredibly important. What we're going to talk about with keyword, I think is probably the easiest and fastest ways to find products inside of Viral Launch and really make it work. So what we're going to do is keyword phrase or keyword match, specific keyword and phrase filter. We're not going to use this, right, because we want to see everything. Average monthly revenue, we're going to do 6,750. Average review count, we're going to bring this up to like 37. Minimum price, we're going to do $12.75, and we're going to show keywords, right? And the reason that keywords is more efficient is because if you notice, right, when I did product, let's say that we found like the scissors, the kids pack of scissors. For all I know, when I see that product, there could be one diamond in the rough seller who's making a ton of money selling those kids scissors, and then everyone else in the whole niche has 5,000 reviews and are selling for $10 less expensive, and that specific kids scissor set was just like on the Ellen show or something like that, right? You don't know the whole picture until you see the landscape of the actual highest trafficked keyword, right? And so that's why I actually went and copy and pasted, okay, kids scissors with like the non-pointy tip. I forget what it was called, but I took the main keyword, searched it on Amazon, right? Pointed tip kids scissors, and then I ran the market intelligence Chrome extension to see the landscape of the entire thing, right? Not just one seller. I want to see that everyone has consistent revenue. I want to see that everyone has relatively low reviews so that I know that when I enter the overall niche, right, or keyword in this case, that I'm going to be safe. So let's actually show some keywords here. And we're gonna keep all of this, the advanced filters off for now. So if we show keywords here, it's gonna bring up actual like product sets for us. And you'll see how powerful this is in a second. Wine preservation opener, popular result. Eco-friendly party supplies, slime making kit for kids, right? I have a student who got into the slime making kits, months and months ago, and he made a friggin' fortune. But it's important to know when to get out, right? It's the same thing with fidget spinners, for example. Like the people who got in, and when we got in at the right time, people were making thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then the people who were stupid and reordered these massive quantities, right, as everyone and their mother started to sell fidgets on Amazon, people wind up with tens of thousands of unsold units that they just have to get rid of, and that's very costly. Benoit Kegel balls, blackhead extractor vacuum. Let's check this out. I'm gonna view this one on Amazon. See, this is great. Like, what the heck is this? I'm trying to vacuum out some blackheads on Amazon. So we see absolutely insane numbers here, right? 50 grand a month, 50 grand a month, 20 grand, 43 grand, right? It's electronic. This is not something that I personally would sell. But if you like to live dangerously and you're okay with if you're okay with dealing with the additional kind of complexities of selling electronics on Amazon and importing them into the USA from China, then this could be a very, very good product, especially if you make it to the market fast. This is not a product that I would personally sell because it's just too flashy. I don't want to attract. I like to just print money while I sleep and not have to worry about all the crappy parts of Amazon, which is why I go after the less expensive products. Or excuse me, the products making less revenue per month, and then I just continue to add products to my portfolio. And it's the tortoise versus the hare, right? I'd rather be the hare in this case, and the hare doesn't mean that you're doing this all slowly. It just means you're not going after the $1 million a month or the $100,000 a month product like everyone else is, which means you have much less competition, and it's just a much more kind of long-term oriented mindset. Let's look at eco-friendly disposables. So these are disposable cups that don't mess up the environment, I guess. Right, $27,000 a month. We see a ton of sales here. This is probably a little trendy, I would say, because eco-friendly kind of goes in and out of popularity. But this is definitely something that could have long-term appeal if you created a brand around eco-friendly, forks and knives, eco-friendly plates, eco-friendly napkins, all of this stuff, right? People are becoming more and more environmentally conscious, and obviously we do see some crazy sales numbers here with relatively low reviews. So this is definitely one that I would take a look at. And so this is the keyword tool, guys. And something that I like to use also is the sales to reviews, right? This is the average sales to review ratio for the product's top sellers on Amazon. And so what this means is it has at least 5 sales to 1 review. And so I like to use this kind of metric to show me things that are even more popular. And you can bump this up intensely if you want and really see crazy stuff. Abdominal muscle stimulators, right? So for every 1 review that it has over 50 sales. That means that it has very low reviews relative to the number of sales. Ultrasonic pest mosquito repellent, right? This is great. It's freaking, I doubt these work, but if they do, I'll buy one right now. So let's take a look here. So we see, insane numbers. We see insanely low reviews. This is definitely something that I would consider getting into. It's a little high on the revenue scale, especially up here in the top. But we do see a lot of 7,000, 11, 11, 16, 12, right? These are the numbers that we're looking more towards. So maybe we don't try to outdo these $45,000 a month guys, and we just settle on page 1, settle in, cement our spot at that $14 to $15 to $16,000 mark. And then we let these other guys kill each other for position 1, and we just profit quietly in the background. That's what I try to do all throughout my Amazon career, is just profit quietly in the background by myself. Everyone leaves me alone, right? And I'm, in my mind, the truest winner. I don't care if I'm making 50 grand a month versus 15 grand a month if I don't get my listing hijacked by 20, Chinese sellers every day, and I'm stressed out, or people aren't submitting false IP claims saying that I stole their pictures when it's not true, because I was first, right? I like to be quietly in 4th or 3rd place than loudly in 1st, and that's just how I've always operated on Amazon, and it's done me very, very well. So play around with the advanced filters, guys. We'll go deeper into these in future videos, but that's a big fat, tutorial about product and keyword, the categories I like, right, the filters that I use, and the advanced filters that I use for these two main areas of product research using the product discovery tool, guys. And so I hope you took notes for that. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go much deeper into the rabbit hole of product research in videos to come. So hope you enjoy that, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.